Hi, Carmen.
Hello. Can you
Very-
hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you good. How are you
Okay,
today?
awesome. Awesome.
Only.
I'm joining you from my workplace. It's been a busy day.
Thank you so much for giving me your time, Carmen.
Yeah,
So,
thank you so much for having me.
so how's the day so far?
It has been a very busy day. It has been a busy time. I work full time and I'm working on the music. Like yesterday was a long day. I worked and then I went to a band rehearsal and then I ended up at an open mic and then, back at work again today. So there's just a
Uh,
lot going
it
on.
must be very really a hard day for you then, like I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Great, great. So,
Awesome.
Carmen, your new album, Fix the World, is to be out on October 7th. So, would you like to tell me a bit on the songwriting and the making of this new album?
Well, it's been a long time coming. The whole process started all the way back in 2020. So the person who produced I actually had two producers, but the main producer, his name is Joel Wasson. So
Mm.
he is the frontman for the band called The Discarded. And we met online in 2019 because he asked me to sing on a Discarded album. So when the whole, pandemic stuff happened in 2020, everyone was home a lot, all shows were canceled, all of that stuff. So he asked me if I would be interested in making an album because I had not done a full length album yet. I had a couple of EPs. So I said yes, with a little bit of hesitancy. But I had a psychic predict the opportunity for me all the way back in 2017. So I knew that this must be that opportunity. So how we started with the whole song, I had a lot of songs. I've been doing music, publicly. Okay, I've been singing since I was a very little girl, but I started playing music when I learned to play guitar in around 2002. So I've been at it for a while. So I had a lot of songs. So the way we started was I shared recordings of myself playing acoustically songs that were contenders for the album. And then Joel had some songs in mind as well. So three of the songs on the album are actually songs that he wrote. And one of them, which is actually single number 2, which is going to be coming out on September 9th, I believe, called Time Bomb Heart. That has been released by The Discarded. So I sent in those recordings, and then we had a couple of just acoustic sessions, just working on arrangements of these songs. And then, because we had time over COVID, our bass player, Drew Atkins,
Mm.
who is he also worked as a recording engineer on this. He has a home studio, like it's actually a separate building in the backyard of his house. He's a very successful software developer. I don't fully understand what he does, but made enough money that he could build his own studio. So we met regularly as a band after we decided on the arrangements acoustically. So we met as a band and we had a lot of rehearsals to build a sound as a band, which is really important. It's and that's why you get a nice tight sound and you really feel like the band understands what you're doing rather than just hiring people for session day,
Mm.
right? So we established all that. And so we didn't start recording so this is 2020. So 2021 is when we started recording. Um, and then so we did all the instrumental bed tracks at Drew's studio, and then we did the lead vocal tracks at Green Door Studios.
Mm.
So we did that, and then then that was with John Critchley of the band 13 Engines. I don't know if you have heard of that band or not. Maybe not. And if in Canada, like if you know 90s, you might be too young for that. I'm not sure. You look pretty young. So, and anyway, it's a bit of a long-winded answer, but I'm not even done. So, so we recorded the lead vocal tracks at John Critchley's Green Door Studios. That's what it's called. One of the songs is actually it's called Ghost, and that is it's acoustic song. So it's just acoustic guitar, me singing, and then we have someone playing viola. Lee Rose of the band Ace of Wands. Excellent band.
Mm.
You would love them. You should check out Ace of Wands. Everybody listening and watching, check out Ace of Wands. They're great. And check out The Discarded too. They're also great. And 13 Engines. They haven't released music in a while, but they're also great. Anyway, so we recorded all of that with John Critchley. The lead guitar parts were done by Michael McKenzie, and that was recorded at Red House Academy. So I always think of lead guitar as kind of the icing on the cake, right? Like it's the flourishes after the base of the song is done. So it was, you know, 3 different studios, and that's great. That's fun. And then we went to, and then John Critchley also mixed it. And then Drew Atkins, the bass player, he did some of the preliminary mixing as well. And the mastering was done by, I got to pronounce his name properly, by Joa Caravello. And he's well known in Canada and in Toronto for he mixes a lot of people.
Yeah.
So we went to his studio for the mastering. So the album itself was actually done for a while, like mixed, mastered, ready, but I wasn't ready to release it. There were a lot of things, you know, a lot of invisible things that the general public doesn't know about releasing music. You have to get proper PR support, which is how we connected, right? And I needed to get the money to do that, which is why I'm at work right now. But like in the pandemic days, money was a little slower because like a lot of work wasn't coming in. So it was also that. Yeah, so that's essentially how it worked out. You know, we started out with, like, I sent demos, we did acoustic arrangements, we spent time building the sound as a band,
Mm.
and then we started recording instrumental tracks and the rough, you know, the scratch vocal tracks, and then we recorded lead vocal, and then we recorded lead guitar. So that's yeah, because as you can tell, like there's many parts to this album. It's not, some artists do, and I completely respect this as well, just a simple voice and acoustic guitar album, and they recorded in their homes, and props to you for doing that, but that's not what we did. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. And does Fix the World has some kind of focus towards the songwriting, or is just random songs that you wrote about?
Oh, can you repeat the question? I just want to make sure I understand what you're
What I
asking
was
me.
asking is, does Fix the World, the album, when
Hmm.
you wrote the songs, was it focused on something particular, or is just random
Oh.
songs that you write about?
So when I write songs, so the collection of songs on Fix the World, some of them are kind of old, like I've been singing them for a long time. The so I guess I'll start with I would say every song I write comes from something I feel. So anything that makes an impression on me and makes me feel something, that's what I end up writing about. I have a lot of respect for songwriters that can just write, like they write hundreds of songs. They can just write and write and write. I tend to need to be inspired. So as for topics that I wrote about on this album, there's 11 songs, and it does actually cover a range of topics, like Pretty Dresses, which is the first single, which is how we ended up connecting, because I think that was sent out to you. That song, and Jen Barker from No Rules PR did an excellent write-up about it. But it's, if I had to explain it in just a couple of sentences, I would say it's about feeling kind of guilty, like grappling with the whole, you know, I want to be on the red carpet. I want to wear these pretty dresses. I want to belong to this elite crowd, but also isn't that kind of shallow and superficial? And so it's that war within my mind of, you know, like just wanting to be accepted and loved and looking beautiful, and exploring why I need that. And, you know, and also, like, there's a line in the song, I know it's wrong to judge me on appearance to see if I belong, and the years I spent in line to get into the special places that I wish were mine. And it's the idea of this, like, red, you know, the bouncer at the door, and the line, "You're not on the list, you can't get in." That type of feeling.
Yeah.
So that's what that song is about. Single number 2, I'll just go by what the public's going to be seeing. Time Bomb Heart. So Joel wrote that about he actually wrote it about his friend Al Miller, who now has actually passed on. Rest in peace, Al Miller. I never knew him personally, but I understand he was a wonderful person, very talented musician and music technician. Anyway, so Song Time Bomb Heart is actually written in a very rock and roll way about having a heart that, because he had a few heart attacks, and that's eventually how he had a heart condition. That's eventually how he passed. So, but when Joel wrote the song, he was also kind of going through a bit of a relationship, like a relationship breakup. Like I won't air all his personal experience out. Like I'll leave that to him. But he was going through like a personal matter of the heart, like a heartbreak, really. So it's kind of those two things combined. So Time Bomb Heart, about just it could just explode at any time, so it's like the emotional thing behind it and then the actual health thing behind it. And I just thought the first time I heard it, because I heard the song before we even started this project when I was studying the Discarded's music, because I was singing for them on their album called The Get-Goes, and I also sing on their album called The Green Door, which was recently released just last year. Um, and I loved the song. I loved the song right away. It was like one of my very favorite Discarded songs. So that's the song that I picked of his to be on the album. I had to kind of push to get that one on the album, and I'm glad that I was like
Amazing.
stubborn about it because it turned out really nice.
Yeah.
And then single number 3, the focus track and the title track of the album, "Fix the World." That song, I wrote that song really fast. I wrote it after being in an event that was all women, where I felt kind of uncomfortable. The song is about how women kind of need to support each other a little more and be less it's so funny, like considering what I sing about in Pretty Dresses, wanting to be pretty and all that, but like it's kind of on like being all into like how your house looks and how your clothes look and just being kind of catty and two-facey and just not supportive of your fellow sisters. And the song is also about, and interestingly, with all the stuff going on in the States, it's a little bit of a middle finger to the patriarchy, and the gender roles, and how and some of the things because I'm divorced now. I live a very different life than I did during the years that inspired me to write this song. It's kind of about like putting women. The song is sort of about like expecting women to just be just this one thing, and you can't expand past that. And I was not this. I didn't want to live in the suburbs. I didn't want to have all these wedding showers and baby showers and just having women. Like there's a line in the song that goes, "We sit around a semicircle of couches and chairs, surrounded by presents no one can really afford. We sip on tea, consuming sweets, tempting small talk, and I'm just trying not to look bored. I would rather gather for a different reason. I would rather gather to do something, to fix the world, really." Because the chorus goes, "How are we going to fix the world? How are we going to fix the world when we're busy being silly, shallow little girls?" Because and as a musician, it's a very male dominated industry too. So I tend to spend a lot of time around guys. So sometimes I feel at a place with other women and their priorities. And it's also, in the days when I was like, and I'm divorced now, but it's like, I didn't like my own wedding showers when I was getting married. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do it, which should have been a warning. And maybe I shouldn't have gotten married, but whatever, hindsight's 2020. So that's what it's just, the song is about. You should be who you are. We should support each other. But it's kind of like a call out to the women, because there's also another line in the song: "We left the men in charge too long. We will never fix the world unless we get strong." Right? Like we gotta rise up and take leadership roles and not enable the patriarchy anymore. It's very, very important. So that's where. So as you can see, okay, so Time Bomb Heart, that made me feel something hearing it, right? But like the underlying constant for all the songs is emotion. The song Ghost, that acoustic song I mentioned, that one is about it's about an actual ghost. Like it's about actually sensing a presence. And that one's pretty old, but it was about sensing a presence around me. And what would I say to this ghost? And so that's why it's kind of like a stripped down acoustic version. And then if you listen to the recording, the viola, it kind of plays the role of the ghost. Like it has kind of like a ghostly, haunting sound, and it's quite lovely. And then of course you got to have, because I'm an emotional lady, of course you got to have a heartbreak song on there, and that's what L-Bomb is about. And that's about like falling for someone, being afraid to tell them you love them because like love is seen as a dirty word. Oh, don't drop the L bomb. It's so bad. Don't drop the L bomb. And that's actually the B side to Time Bomb Heart. So I will be releasing them at the same time. Um, but Time Bomb Heart is getting, the PR promotion, and then L Bomb will be the song that people find when they go to like it'll be with my other songs. But it's like I'm just releasing it as like a quiet B side. Um, yeah. So L Bomb is just it's about being really, really vulnerable. And when I tell someone that you love them, like or that I'm having feelings for you, I'm catching feelings for you, or whatever. But oh, you're probably going to reject me. And the person I wrote about did. So it's very fitting. Um, Big City is about how, and that's one of the oldest songs on the album. That one is about how expensive and hard it is to live in a city like Toronto and not being able to find a place to live. Like, it's, but I don't want to leave Toronto. I don't want to leave the city because I don't want to be commuting to work or to gigs, for like 3 hours every day. There's a line, it seems I have two choices laid before me: live in a shoebox, which I live in a modest apartment. It's not a shoebox. I live in a decent apartment. It's like for Toronto, I did okay. Could I use more space? Yes. Could what I pay in rent get me a palace if I live all the way, like way up in northern, like some remote area? Probably, but I wouldn't be near anything, right? So it's kind of that trade-off. Yeah, so the line in the song is, seems I have two choices laid before me: live in a shoebox like a small space, or commute 3 hours a day. Well, am I allowed to swear? Because there's a swear word in the song. Well, F that, I'd rather stay. So I'd rather stay in Toronto. So I've lived in Toronto since 2001, and it's, you got to be, it's kind of like New York. Like if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Like it's a
Yeah.
tough city to make it in. So yeah, timeline is about not having enough time and feeling like it's escaping me. Timeline, oh, you know what? Timeline is the oldest song on the album. Timeline I wrote when I was in university before I could even play an instrument.
Mm.
Timeline, uh, it started out. I was in what was it? Philosophy class. And we had a really good teaching assistant. So you have like lectures with the professor, and then we have like little classes with the teaching assistant. And I asked him one day, because we were talking about the concept of time, and I said, how is it that people can have deja vu? Have you ever heard of deja vu? Do you know what that is? Okay, so
Yeah.
when you feel like you've lived through something before, I get deja vu a lot. So I asked him, and I still remember his name, Paul Jameson, and I always wondered what became of him, and I always wanted to tell him, hey, because of you, I wrote the song Timeline. Um, so he drew a line on the chalkboard, just a straight line, and he goes, okay, this is the timeline. This is timeline, okay? And then he drew a big circle above it. He says, this is God, okay? Cool. And then he kind of said, God is outside of time. And that's how you can have deja vu. That's how, and I was like, whoa. So there's actually a line. Well, they say God is outside of time, and if God's outside of time, then why can't I get off the timeline? Because I've had enough of the tick-tocking, click-clocking, flip-flopping, running when I'd rather be walking. I'm walking off the timeline. So it's just about, it's just so annoying how everything is so scheduled and so like, and the older I get, the like, oh my God, like my days just get away from me. And I'm like, can't we just, why are we always in such a rush? And I every time I play it live, I say, this is my response to everyone who tells me to just have better time management. That is such a triggering statement when people say that to me. Like I try to use my time as wisely as I can, but like it's annoying. So when people tell me, and I'm a creative, I can't always control how and when I have ideas or want to do things. And I like to be inspired, but it's hard to be inspired when you're like stuck in this tiny little schedule and you must do things here, 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 and here. So that's what timeline is about. What other songs can I talk about? Struggling is about my struggles with my anxiety condition and how, people don't understand, like it's hard to, I'm struggling, come watch me fall. I've got every emotion and I'm showing them all. So it's kind of like having an anxiety attack while people watch, wondering what the hell is wrong with me. And just like that, I've always got this. So it's easy for you. What's easy for you is harder for me, because it's a little bit self-pitying, but it's also like just frustrating. It's like but if it were, and then there's a line, but if it were easy, would it be a good show, right? Like anything worth doing is kind of difficult. That's so that's but again, common denominator, all songs, they make me feel something intensely. Every song I write comes from an intense feeling. So there you go.
Thanks,
Very
thanks
long
so much
answer.
for thank you so much for sharing all these details, Carmen. And I really had the pleasure to listen to the album in its entirety, and I had to
Oh,
say,
cool.
a fantastic album with
Thank you very much.
your amazing vocals, and the musicianship is mind blowing. And each and every song, there's not even a single song that can be let out from this album. So you have beautifully worked on this album and have picked up the right songs that goes towards this album, and the outcome was mind blowing. So thank you for all the awesomeness. And as a creator, what are your thoughts on this album, and how do you feel about the outcome?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for the kind words. Like that really means a lot. You know what? I kind of share your view. I would say, with the help of okay, this is the most help I've ever had on a musical project. I got very, very lucky. I feel very, very blessed to have people come into my life that believed in me enough to give of their, I paid for a lot of things, but a lot of things I got from people working for nothing or for a very reduced amount. In particular, Joel Wasson, my producer and drummer on this album, and he played a little bit of guitar as well. And Drew Atkins, the bass player, and sound engineer a little bit, or recording engineer, whatever the official term is, and studio, home studio owner, right? Because he provided a place to build the sound and rehearse. So because of their generosity, in Canada, like I call them my factor grant. In Canada, there's grants you can apply for called factor, and I've applied a couple times and didn't get them. I came close once, but I didn't get them, and so maybe one day I will. But like I call them my factor grant because the help that they gave me is equivalent to that. So I'm very, very grateful for all of the help and input I had from really seasoned professionals who have done this many times and understand the process. I have learned so much, and I'm very grateful for that. I have never done a full-length album before. I would say this album is the closest to like who I am as a person. I have other releases, and you may or may not have heard them, like my EP from 2018 called Safety Net. It's a lovely, like I have sonically it has a lovely sound. The issue with it is I could not create that sound live. I couldn't recreate it. I would need a bunch of computers or like a 30-piece band. Derek Downham produced it. He did an excellent job. It sounds lovely, but I couldn't recreate it, and that was frustrating for me. I can play acoustic versions of all of those songs, like with my guitar or a little bit with my keyboard or whatever. So it was really important to me that I built a sound with a band, and I got to do that. I would say that I'm really grateful that the team I worked with took the time to understand what I was trying to do. And so I would actually say, like in my entire life on this planet, I'd say this is, of all the things I've done in my life, this is the biggest thing I've ever done in my life. I don't have children. So this is like the children that I didn't have. It really is. I would consider this to be my biggest accomplishment to date. I am so proud of it. And one of the reasons why I'm working so hard to promote it, and I've invested money to promote it, is it wasn't just for me, it's for the people that helped me, because I want them to get exposure too. Right? Because they deserve it. Because I think, independent musicians just in general, like we do it for the love of it. A lot of us have full-time jobs. We have to do that. We sacrifice sleep and our sanity, and something, we book vacations to do more work on our music because we love it so much. So it was a real labor of love, and I'm so proud of it. Like I'm just so elated that it turned out like it did, and it's, yeah, I would say it's the best thing I've done. I'm very happy. It's like a mother looking at her newborn child with tears in her eyes. Like seriously, if I talk about it too long, I will start crying. Yeah, so that's what you said is kind of how I feel about it. And I don't say this in a conceited way. I say this in a I'm just in a grateful way. Yeah.
And speaking on your first single and the official music video for Pretty Dresses, like, would you like to tell me a bit on the making of this video? And you have give some retro touch to this video, like the class.
Mhm.
80s
Yeah,
kind of video. So that
yeah.
makes it more special to watch this video, and the song itself is amazing. So would you
Oh,
like to
thank you
talk
so
a bit
much.
about Pretty Dresses?
Yeah, so so I remember the day. I actually I don't know the exact date, but I remember the day and the moment when. So this was I believe it was in 2021, and everyone was working from home, right? But I was starting to get busy with work. Like I was starting to get a lot of work coming in, and start to earn some money again, which was encouraging. And I was going on what I used to call one of my sanity walks, and it was a winter day, but it was nice and sunny, and I was out in my winter coat going for like a little walk around a little ravine, just a little piece of nature within Toronto. And I get this phone call, and it's Joel, and he goes, "I have an idea for Pretty Dresses for the music video." So I should probably give you a little bit of background. So the way that I met Joel, he asked me to work on an album. It was a concept album
Mhm.
and a movie called The Get-Goes. So
Mhm.
everyone listening, you should look up The Get-Goes, The Discarded, The Get-Goes. So it is a soundtrack and a movie. So it's an animated movie. And the animated movie is about a fictional band called the Get-Go's. So in this movie, the Discarded play the Get-Go's, and the movie has like talking parts and a bunch of different songs. Like they're actually normal songs, but they're part of the soundtrack and part of the story. So it's kind of like an animated musical. So we were working on this in 2019, and I sing background vocals, and I play two characters in the movie. I play the background singer because I'm singing on the album, and then I also play a DJ called DJ Dan, short for Danielle. And yeah, so it's a great movie. So that's the background. So the person who did the animation for that video, his name is Peter. I hope I'm saying his last name correctly, and I always meant to ask him how to pronounce it. Peter Guidon, I think is how you say his last name. His business name is Hotsy Totsy Productions.
Mhm.
So because of all the COVID shutdowns and stuff, it was kind of hard to make a music video, to have a live shot video, because you weren't allowed to do anything without having a mask on or with your bubble. And are you in the States or in the US? Yes? Where are you located?
I'm from the other side of the world. I'm from India.
Right on. Is that where you are now? Are you in
Yes,
India right
yes,
now?
yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, okay, awesome. So, okay, well, in Canada, I don't know if it was like this everywhere during the COVID pandemic, but you had to have like bubbles of people, like certain people that you could hang out with, but like the rest of the people, you had to wear a mask and keep your social distance. So anyway, so that's why like my band was my bubble, basically, right? Because we had to rehearse and build the sound. So anyway, it was just going to be hard to make a music video logistically. So Joel calls me this day when I'm taking a sanity walk while I'm having my work at home work day, just taking a little break. And he goes, "I have this idea for Pretty Dresses." And he described a scenario. He goes, "Okay, just hear me out. It's a concert, and there's a hot young band pretending to play the song, and the real band, you, me, Drew, and our lead guitarist, are playing behind the curtain. So it's kind of like a Milli Vanilli lip syncing situation. I don't know if you know who Milli Vanilli is. They were like infamous for their lip syncing, and it's actually kind of a tragic story. They were just doing what they were told, and one of them actually went on to become an actual singer and learn how to sing. So good for him. Um, anyway, so it was a really interesting process. We had to send pictures of ourselves for character develop. Like we got to have little characters developed, like little avatars of what we would look like, and we had to, but and then the girl in the video is actually modeled after Joel's daughter Sadie. So yeah, so the girl arrives at the concert, and the leads, and she thinks she's going to go see a band called the Deceptors,
Mhm.
and they're singing this song Pretty Dresses, and she tries to talk to the band, and they kind of snub her, and so she's like a little bit distraught, whatever, and then she discovers the real band, as she's kind of wandering around the venue. um, and so it's just funny. It's like, and it fits the theme of the song, like not feeling good enough, not feeling pretty enough. And then I'm a little bit older than, like, I'm not in my 20s. I just had a milestone birthday. Like I turned 50 in July. So I'm very, very young at heart, but it was that too. And my bandmates are older than me too, right? Like, but we all still rock. We all know how to rock. And then so at the end of the video, and the press release describes it better than I am, obviously. But in the end of the video, the young lady, you never find out her name, but the teenager who goes like the young lady who goes to the concert, gets snubbed by the real band, discovers the real band, and I'm nice to her, and then I sign the album for her. Then she goes home and she starts to learn to play guitar herself, right? She gets all inspired and just like feels more comfortable just being herself. So I was pretty excited about Joel's idea, and I'm like, yeah, no, I really like that. That's cool. Let's do it. And there was a lot of back and forthing with the animator. It was interesting. It was and it cost money, but I'd say it was worth it. It's my first official music video ever. Like I've done other performance videos where I perform live and someone films. And I'm actually like, I've been in other people's music videos, like as like a couple of them actually as background talent, just doing stuff, or helping, to get it done, just running around, finding people to be in it, that type of thing. But so yeah, this is my first official music video, and I love that it's a cartoon. I love cartoons. It brings me back to the nostalgic days of getting
Yeah.
up early on Saturday morning while my parents was sleeping, eating sugar cereal, watching, like all the various cartoons we used to watch. The style of this one, like someone told me it reminds them a bit of Gem and the Holograms, and I'm like, yeah, a little bit, like a little bit of Scooby Doo in there, a little like the Hanna-Barbera type of cartoons. Like it's just so, and it's what I love also is it's different. People have done animated videos before, and there's some really good ones out there. Tom Petty's Running Down a Dream is one of them. I think Madonna did one too for her song Music. Like there's portions of it where it's animated, and I really like that. Um, but it's I don't know why more people don't do it, because like it's so funny. The lead guitarist was like, "This is the easiest video shoot I've ever done," because he didn't have to be there at all. So yeah, I'm so happy with how that turned out. And there's two versions of the video and two versions of the song, because I say the word shitty in the song, and some stations don't like to play swear words, so we replaced it with the word gritty. So I want to feel pretty, a little less shitty, or I want to feel pretty, a little less gritty when you get to the chorus. Yeah, so there's two versions of the video. So kids that don't want to be exposed to the word shitty can watch the clean version of the music video. So I actually officially premiered them both today. So it's good we're doing this interview today. It was like an unlisted link that was going out with all the press releases, and I'm like, oh, I better premiere this so the general public can find it.
Yeah.
So I did. Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. And are there plans to come up with more music videos from this album?
So Time Bomb Heart does have a lyric video already. So it's just the words that come up. Um, we'll see. It has to do with time and money. So I wish I could tell you yes, but we'll see. I'm not saying no. I'm not sure. Maybe the universe will grant me an opportunity. I do have someone interested in helping to make a music video for the song, or a really interesting lyric video for the song Big City. So that might happen. Yeah, we'll see. I need to explore some options. What works, like what my challenge is, because I work for myself, but I am on a full-time contract with the same company like for a long time. Like I worked with them in 2019, and that's where I am right now.
Yeah.
I'm in their office. So I did some contract work for them in 2019, and then the whole pandemic happened, and I started working with them again in 2020, and then more and more projects, and now eventually, like I'm on a pretty much full-time contract, and then so that keeps me very, very busy. So between that and just trying to be a good musician, practicing, playing shows, like doing all that, it can be a bit of a challenge for me to manage like the making of, because what was good, convenient about the timing, the pandemic was a real opportunity for me. Like between 2020 and 2022, we were all like, we were permanently at home, but that gave me time to figure all this out and manage it, right? And I don't really have that time anymore. So it's a chance. It's also the time portion of it, just managing the making of it. So the answer is I would love to. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to, but I do know, I can tell you there is already a lyric video for Time Bomb Heart in existence. So that will be out with the single when it releases. And from the looks of it, we're working on a really interesting lyric video with footage of me for Big City, which is a little bit unusual. Usually lyric videos are just words and images and stuff.
Yeah.
You don't usually do live action. So that's, is it solidified? No, but there's a good chance that it'll happen. So fingers crossed that works out. So that's what's happening now. I'm also open to, like, people are telling me that Fiverr is really good for making lyric videos. I may explore that. Um, I'm picky. Like, you listen to the album, like, we've got high standards on sound quality, right? Like, if my name's on it, I want to do the very best I can. The
Yeah.
other issue is perfect is the enemy of the good. Like, if you're too perfect, you don't get anything done. So that's something I struggle with too. But thankfully, the other musicians I work with, kind of force me out of that. Like, they just think, would you just do it? So, and I'm very grateful that I had Joel to help me get this animated video done. And he had all that experience making the movie. So after working on a whole movie that was like around an hour and a half long, doing a 3.5 minute music video, not so hard for him anyway.
Great, great, Carmen. Great. And speaking of October 7, are there any big plans on the day of the release?
Not yet. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So my band is very busy. My drummer producer Joel is in 3 bands, and he's also going to be in Italy in September. And my bass player is in Costa Rica during the fall and winter, and he comes back for certain like little bits of time, but not long. So my challenge is right now to try to get get a full band show together. I I got my start, like the way Joel found me is I was actually live streaming solo. At the very least, I might do a little acoustic live stream show to celebrate its release. So you can hear the acoustic version of the songs. Obviously, I would encourage people to go and listen to the album when it's out. Go and stream it on your chosen music streaming platform. Um, yeah. So as for big plans, I'm working on it. Interestingly enough, the rehearsal I was at last night was actually with a cover band. So I have a show on September 23rd, and they're very supportive and excited for me about the album. Like they were like, "Oh wow, you released a single this week! Wow, that's awesome! Good for you." They are called the 17th Fret, and we're playing. I don't know when you're going to air this, but if you're in Toronto, when you're listening, September 23rd at the Black Swan Tavern. That's a Saturday. I'm joining the 17th Fret as a guest vocalist, and I'm doing 5 songs with them. So yeah, I'm working on getting a show. Will it be in October with the band? Probably not. I think we're looking at a little bit later, probably November-ish to even December-ish. But I will definitely, like, I'm working to try and find a time when all my band members are available, and when there's a venue that has a slot available to do a full band show to celebrate the release of the album. So yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. And is the release gonna be only digital, or you're planning to come up with CDs or vinyls?
So it's an interesting question. So right now it is digital only. However, I did have it mixed for vinyl. I did,
Mm.
or mastered for vinyl. I did. So vinyl is very expensive to produce, as you know, and a lot of people don't have CD players anymore. So right now it is digital. What I may do down the line is do like after like a while after, like depending on what happens, what a lot of people do is they release something on vinyl after the fact. I could see myself maybe doing that, but that's why I did have it mastered for vinyl. CDs, I'm not sure. I'll have to see what the demand is. My distributor They're called Indie Pool. They have done a great job on CDs for me in the past, so I know I could use them again. It would require designing additional, like I've got the cover design, so I'd have to get someone to design the rest of the album artwork, which isn't like, I'm sure somebody could do that. So yeah, right now it's digital only, but a vinyl release may come later. Like I could even see it happening like a couple of years from now. Like we'll see. It really depends. I've had to be very wise about where I put my money. So I opted to invest in PR instead of a vinyl release,
Mhm.
which I think was the right decision because we're talking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And a career of more than 20 years in the music scene, from Social Potion until this new album festival. So, how do you feel about the journey that you have traveled so far?
Oh, it's been quite the ride. It's been such a wild ride. It's made me who I am today, I'll tell you that. How do I feel about it? I'm Oh, what a great question. I'm usually so talkative and I'm trying to think of how to articulate my answer. How do I feel? I feel proud. Um, the fact that I have done it this long, it's my soul. Like the music is just in me. At first, when I started doing it, in the early days, like 2004, 2005, I had a lot of anger. I was kind of mad because I saw how hard it was to make it, and I'm like, it was hard to get paid. And now that I'm older and wiser, I'm just, making music is and listening to music and enjoying music. Like I go to a lot of concerts. I go to a lot of independent artist concerts in the city, and I go to a lot of established artist concerts. Like I'm seeing Sheryl Crow on Saturday. I recently saw Cyndi Lauper in concert. And then I mentioned Ace of Wands. And I meant to mention to you, because you're metalheads forever. If you haven't already heard of them, there was a really good metal band that I saw in concert last year, and they are called Oceans of Us. Really sweet people. I don't know if you've heard of them. They were really good live, and they have some really good recorded music that they released kind of recently. You might want to check them out.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, Oceans of Us. And they were actually on the same bill as The Reed Effect, which is also a great band. I know Kirk Reed, great guy. He's a frontman for that band. Oh, I should have put my. I'm on my computer, and I just had a notification pop up for some work meeting for something, and I
Actually, I
meant to put it.
interviewed the Reed Effect back in the days, like a couple of years back. I think Kirk Reed, I believe.
Oh,
So
did you meet him already?
no,
Yeah,
we
that makes
had an
sense.
interview. We had an interview back.
Oh, awesome.
Back.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would have been a good one. Yeah, no, he works really hard. He's actually on a Via Rail Artists on Board tour right now, or he just got back from it. And I did that myself in 2018. That's a really cool thing to do in Canada. The applications are closed for this year. I was going to try to do it, but so they're opening again next year, and I am going to apply again next year to do it again to promote this album. But yeah, as for how I feel about it, I feel grateful. I feel proud. I feel like I will probably do it until I die. Like as long as I will do something musical in some way, and as long as my body allows me to, as long as I can play, as long as I can sing. I couldn't imagine life without music. And you know what? Like I often think about what would my 20-year-old self, like, because I learned how to play guitar late. I was 26 when I learned how to play guitar. And, like my younger self, like my 20 to 25-year-old self, my teenager self would just be, if she could see what I'm doing now, that makes me cry. Like my younger self would be like, oh my, like you're the lady on stage, you're the lady playing, you play shows, you play for people. Like you got over all your anxiety and all your insecurities enough to be able to do that. Because I was a very like, and I still struggle with it every day, but back then I was very much, I really cared what people thought about me. So she would just be so happy. So I often think of my younger self when I do this, because it was my childhood dream to be a performer. So I've accomplished a dream. So it's, yeah, I like wherever this album may go, like I'm so grateful that I was able to like release it a little further and wider so it could reach people who would enjoy it. And I'm very, very like pleasantly surprised at the lovely feedback I'm getting, like from very different like people, like from different generations, different backgrounds, and like that just tells me good music is good music. Never mind the genre. Like when I saw Metalheads Forever, I'm like, I don't really, my music isn't really metal. I like metal. Do you like Dream Theater? That I would
Yeah,
say they're probably my
absolutely. Oh my
favorite.
God, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
they aren't they amazing? When I discovered them and I discovered their catalog of music, like I love it when I discover an artist and then I realize how much stuff they have. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, I could listen to them for like a couple days and not run out of new songs. Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic, Carmen. And Carmen, finally, any message that you have for the fans around the world?
Oh, wow. Message for fans around the world. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time to check out my music. And like there is no wrong or right interpretation. Like I hope that it reaches your soul in some way. Like music helps me a lot, like listening to it, enjoying it, and I hope that it does something for you. I hope it inspires you. I hope it helps you to feel better. I hope it helps you to forget about whatever's troubling you for a while. I hope it helps you understand that you're not alone in your struggles. But like the number one message is thank you for especially the ones that come to shows, especially the ones that share things like my new video. Like if you're sharing my new music video or the song, or videos you took of me when I played live, like thank you so much. And also like thank you in general for another thing I would say to the fans is like thank you for supporting independent music. Thank you for taking the time to look around past what you're seeing on TV and the radio. Not that there's not great stuff there, because there is, but there is so much more that could really bring you some joy and also like help an artist to expand their reach and their audience and actually have more of a sustainable career. So yeah, so the number one message for the fans is just thank you for listening, thank you.
Beautiful, 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 Carmen. And Carmen, I want to thank you so much for giving me today this wonderful opportunity to have you on the show, and a real pleasure to meet you. And thanks for Fix the World, an amazing album which is to be out on October 7th. So thanks for all the awesomeness that you have put inside of this album. Like I said earlier, a fantastic work on this album, and I really wish you all the best. And I'm really hoping someday we can meet on the road. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That would be amazing.
Fantastic.
And
And
rock on. Oh, it's going to do something if I do rock on too. There you go. I have the effects on.
yeah, I can see that. Fantastic, fantastic, Carmen. And thanks so much again. And have a great rest of the evening. And I wish you all the best.
All good. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
And
much.
yes,
Take care.
have a lovely rest of your, is it day or night there? I don't even know.
It's early morning.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah, it's 7:48 p.m. here. Okay.
All
Okay.
right. Take care.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Thank
Yeah.
you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.